Friends, today we are going to talk about standing committees of parliament. Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha are two houses of Indian parliament. They have their own respective standing committees. And in public discourse, there have been a lot of comments on the disruptions which have taken place in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. People feel that the disruptions have increased after 2014, perhaps because BJP has simple majority and opposition is not cooperating. I'll take a contrarian view. Disruptions happen in House also because of the fact when bills are not reconciled in the standing committees. I remember as a cub reporter, I was used to work for a magazine. In 2001, I was sent to Pranab Mukherjee's residence. I was told to interview him, and the peg of the story was that, well, MPs go to different areas in the country in name of study tours, and they actually turn into tourists, and the committees behave like tourism committees. So with this mindset, I met him. And Pranab Mukherjee, after speaking to me for 5 minutes, told me that I should read a book on Standing Committee of Parliament and come back after a week. I went back to my editor very disappointed, saying that I will not be able to meet the deadline because I have been handed over this fat book of 300 pages by Pranab Mukherjee, and he has asked me to read it and come back. So I went back with my editor, and subsequently the interview was taken. But in this process, I realized that standing committees are very important tools to maintain some sort of supervision of various parties and parliamentarians on the executive, which is the government. How does one have a control over what the ministers are doing? The only way you can do is by asking questions in the parliament, or actually going through the bills in a manner which is disciplined, in a manner which has a format, in a manner which actually goes back to the House for the reconsideration. So most of the important bills in past were sent to the standing committees. Standing committees have composition of all the political parties depending on the strength they have. Standing committees have the chairman, and they decide when and which bill to be taken. Now, in past 6 to 7 years, we have seen that the role of the standing committees have reduced. So the bills are coming to the House, but enough time is not being given on discussion one. Second, enough time is also not being given to various members or various parties so that they can come prepared on the bill. For example, a lot of bills were introduced in the House. Those were controversial bills, but the discussion took place once the bills were introduced. For example, the charge of the opposition has been that the 370 was introduced impromptu. So you had a discussion after the bill was introduced. But that is, to set that aside, I would say that the larger issue is that unless and until the standing committees of the parliament are given that muscle or re-energized again as they used to be, there will be no, I would say, these disruptions will not come to an end. And if the disruptions don't come to an end, even the parties with big majorities become lame duck. Indira Gandhi with full majorities in 70s became lame duck because opposition did not cooperate. Rajiv Gandhi government with 400 members became lame duck because opposition stopped coming to the parliament. Even Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government almost became lame duck after Gujarat riots. Another example is Manmohan Singh's government became lame duck after 2012. He enjoyed majority with support of other political parties, but larger political parties were not supporting him in terms of functioning of the government. So we have to understand that yes, in parliament, if the disruptions are taking place, there is a reason for disruption. And all disruptions are not bad in the parliament. Some disruptions are required to mobilize public opinion. I think in democracy, if disruption is taking place in parliament, it's not that bad. Imagine disruption to take place on the street, on the road, disrupting your public, your civil life, your normal life. Your child is unable to go to school. So it's better to have disruptions in the House so that the policy get affected. I think it is very important to have a robust opposition in democracy, because in absence of it, legislation or legislative activity becomes one-sided. So I think it's a time, it's imperative on part of the government to allow parliamentary committees to have greater say in legislation. But I think with the sort of disruption which we witnessed on Sunday in India, just goes on to show that the relationship between opposition and the government has become very, very tenacious. And since COVID-19 is there, the parliament is not going to function. It is also going to cast a light on the way parliament will be functioning in the winter session. So I think the first step can be that at least the suspension of the MPs can be taken back. Harivansh, who is the deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha, has taken the first step. He met them today morning. I think the second thing could be that if all the people can come, decide and say, well, these are the important bills which can go to various standing committees, and then they can be discussed, will go a long way in ensuring a smooth functioning of the Indian Parliament. This is Kartikeya Sharma signing out for WION.